Hi, I'm Dr. Athena Paradise, and I want to talk to you today about low-level laser therapy. It's a pretty remarkable modality, and I have to say a lot of times I feel like Dr. McCoy on Star Trek when I'm using it, because it's a red light that you're kind of passing over people and their tissues heal. So it does feel a little bit space age and magical, but there's a lot of research. Over 10,500 PubMed papers have been published on how effective low-level laser therapy is. So some lasers are high-powered laser therapy, and they actually create heat in the tissues, and there's very clear research showing that that can damage tissues. So I never work with those lasers. I only work with Erchonia's low-level laser therapy. In laser therapy, less is more. And research has shown that over and over again, that smaller doses of a specific wavelength and frequency are what heal tissues without overstimulating them or causing any heat or damage. Laser works by affecting your mitochondria, which you might remember from biology years ago is in every single cell of your body. And your own mitochondria are what make the energy that your body runs on, okay? Mitochondria are very susceptible to damage. The things that damage them the most are toxins, stress, and trauma. And many of us are very deficient in mitochondria, which means our tissues don't have enough energy to take in nutrition and use it, to kick out cellular wastes and toxins, or to heal and repair tissue. So the thing I love about the laser is anywhere I put that laser, those three things improve. All of a sudden the cell is receiving enough energy to get the food it needs, to repair itself, and to kick out what it doesn't need. And this applies to every tissue in the body. So if someone has plantar fasciitis, you can put it on their feet and make things better. If someone has a fracture, the laser has been shown to increase the healing time, cutting it in half and creating stronger bony laydown. If someone has a traumatic brain injury or concussion, it helps to repair the damage, it helps to decrease inflammation, and it helps to make your body secrete the enzymes that really take away the inflammation and pain and calm it down. The FDA has approved these lasers for treating every joint in the body, for curing low back pain, for curing plantar fasciitis. There's studies underway looking at how does this laser affect IBS and gastritis? How does this laser affect autism? I just feel like we're on the very, very edge of the frontier of what's going to be discovered about what these lasers can do. They're very, very safe. They're very non-invasive and comfortable, and just super effective. They healed my own brain injury, which is remarkable. So I obviously have a lot of passion about them. I want to read you a list of some of the medically documented effects the laser has. It stimulates neurogenesis. That means it makes nerves that have been damaged grow. Okay, neurogenesis, the growth of nerves. It increases blood flow to the brain, and it promotes ATP production, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That is the energy your mitochondria make that your body runs on. Also my initials. It protects and repairs the blood-brain and gut-brain barriers, okay? If your blood-brain barrier is not intact, any toxin, any heavy metal, all kinds of things are moving into your brain tissue and having access to it that it shouldn't. Your blood-brain barrier is what keeps all of that stuff out and keeps all the nutrients in, so it's very important. Reduces brain inflammation and promotes resolution of glial activity. So all around every neuron in your brain, so let's say this is a neuron, they kind of look like this with the long shaft and then kind of a hand, the dendrites. And surrounding this is this whole network of glial cells. And glial cells are very, very active. They're always cleaning and kind of act as a lymphatic system for the brain, but they're also constantly sending chemical messages back and forth throughout the brain. When you get a traumatic brain injury, what happens is those glial cells tear, and a lot of the toxins they've extracted and held are all of a sudden flowing all over your brain. So the most important thing when you get a concussion or a traumatic brain injury is to immediately have something that will calm down that inflammation and allow those glial cells to repair, and that is laser. And laser, as far as we know at this point, is the only thing that's been shown to do that. So if you get a head injury, get yourself into someone who has a laser and get treated ASAP, okay? Protect and even reverse amyloid plaquing and neurofibrillary tangles. So this is what happens that causes dementias. And the plaquing makes these little white spots in the brain and, stops things from functioning properly. The neurofibrillary tangles end up being these giant tangles, and then nutrients, blood, all kinds of stuff can't get through, and that gives you the progression of dementias. So this is again, one of the only things that's been shown to protect against that, and now we're discovering maybe even reverse that, which seems miraculous. It boosts immune response and protects against and directly kills pathogens in the brain. There's so much research out in the last 5 years about Alzheimer's and different dementias being caused by pathogens that have gotten into the brain. And again, the EVRL laser, the purple light laser, has been shown to kill those in the body, just take them away. Promotes stem cell production, localization, and differentiation without having to have any surgery, injections. It just stimulates the body's natural processes. It promotes the activity of all of our antioxidant systems, including glutathione production and protection against free radical damage. Okay? When we're exposed to different wavelengths of waves that are everywhere in the air, to 5G, to different foods, to pesticides, there's all kinds of things that our body considers toxic or invaders, and they create free radicals. Our body tries to fight them off. Laser increases your ability to do that. It dramatically increases mitochondrial output and protects against mitochondrial damage, and even promotes mitochondrial biogenesis. That means making new mitochondria. And the thing that's amazing about this is when the wavelength and frequency of the Erchonia lasers hits your cells, your mitochondria start doing a happy dance. They're like, oh my God, I'm on vacation now. Everything is good. I'm so happy. Let's make energy. Okay, that's literally what's happening in every cell of your body that the laser is touching. And so all of a sudden those tissues just come back to life and have this abundance of energy. And so they're like, whoa, look, Sector 5, pancreas needs assistance. They can send energy there. Over here, my brain is inflamed. Okay, let's send some energy there. And it's just amazing to watch the things that happen when you put these light photons into the body. Decreasing stress hormones and promoting youth hormones like human growth hormone. And protecting and repairing against DNA and RNA damage and telomere shortening. So telomeres determine how long your lifespan is and how healthy your lifespan is. And we've seen through research that drugs, toxins, all kinds of things shorten your telomeres. That means you're not going to live as long or have as much health. So the laser is something that has been shown to support our DNA and RNA staying strong and our telomeres staying long. So these are just a few of the research mechanisms of action that these lasers have. And I want to read you this quote by Dr. Trevor Berry, who is my most favorite physician I've ever met. He's just an incredible human being and also an amazing physician. He says, if a drug company found a drug that could do all of that, it would immediately be hailed as the miracle drug, the most dramatically beneficial drug ever created. If one supplement could do all of that, every American would be taking it every day. The only reason why healthcare providers are not performing laser therapy on every patient is the lack of knowledge of the far-reaching effects of this technology. the case could be made that low-level laser is the single most important therapy a practitioner can add to their services. And I have to tell you, when I first saw Dr. Berry speak, I was planning to retire. I had been in practice for 34 years. And I thought, okay, I'm ready to enjoy my 4 grown kids and my house out at the coast and just like relax and take things off and not work so hard. Big mistake. I went and saw Dr. Berry speak, and he was so knowledgeable and so inspiring and so egoless that I just fell in love with him, with the lasers, and I ended up investing a lot of money and time in getting lasers and starting to use them. And holy cow, what I have seen happen to people's lives is just beyond belief. Working with people who've had strokes, and I'm seeing them 2 to 4 years after everybody's given up on them, and watching them come back to life from barely being able to stumble into a room, having to be guided and held in the chair because they can't orient to where they are, to leading a fully functional life, driving, raising her kids again. It's just story after story, and as a practitioner, I don't think there's anything more gratifying than being able to help people that way and watching people come back to life. And one of the great things about the laser is pre-treating. So there's also research showing if you get a treatment once a month, it's dementia prevention, and it also prevents you from being as damaged if you have a stroke or if you have a head injury. Now, I'd been using the laser for just over a year when I got T-boned in a very serious car accident. So bad that my Lexus, I was hit on the side of my Lexus, flew into the air, rolled over twice, traveled over 4 lanes of traffic, and then flew further and hit a brick wall. Now, by all accounts, I should have been dead. And everybody who pried me out of the car thought I was. And I sustained a concussion, and I lost some of those crystals that are on the little hairs in my ear, so I was very dizzy. But that all cleared up. And one of the most beautiful things that happened, I had had a severe car accident in 1996, very, very bad. I couldn't add or subtract. I didn't know what most words meant. I lost most of my memory. Couldn't stand up by myself for about 4 years. And it's the lasers that finally healed me from that, by the way, along with a lot of other good support. But so I ended up in the same ER, trauma ER, and I asked my trauma ER doctor to look at my scans from my previous injury and compare them to my scans from that day. And because I had been told I'm at a very high risk for dementia, that I was going to have scar tissue in my brain, that I was going to have all kinds of degenerative changes, and that I should be prepared for that. So he came back 3 hours later, which made me really nervous, but he walks into the room and he said, I read your scans 3 times. And according to your scans from 1996, it's impossible, but you have no scar tissue in your brain. You have no degenerative changes in your brain. You have the brain of a 20-year-old. At which point I was just sobbing in relief, because that hangs over you when somebody tells you you're going to be, this is your lot, And he just said it was impossible, but that I had a great brain and there was no damage. And I 100% believe that is from getting regular laser treatments and changing my lifestyle, cleaning up my diet, not eating grains and sugar, and taking supplements that support my whole body, but especially my brain. So anyway, if you have any desire, please call and try the laser and just see what it does, see what it can do for you.